Welcome back, everybody. I am DJ Riley, one of the hosts from Boys on the Bench, and I am here with my top 6 Underdog picks for you today. Now, if you don't know, the newest update that Underdog has just released, they now are offering one of the top markets for 6-leg parlays, allowing you to look for lesser value odds, right? So we used to have to look for 54.3% odds to hit, but now we need an average of 53.8, giving us a 0.5 edge, right? So that's always good news, especially it's a breath of fresh air whenever these fantasy communities have been a little bit dry. So it's nice that as well. Today's Friday. We have a free flex Friday on that as well. But the purpose of this, I will be creating this 6-leg parlay for you on Underdog Fantasy here as well. Now, before we jump into this, I also wanted to show you the X profile that I have for you as well, because I've recently made a post. And on that post, you can see here that on my page, you will see it here. So I've just did a live stream with Daily Grind Fantasy and Sports by Dustin. Also, make sure you're giving him a check there as well. Now, you can see here that this is one of those it's a thread post, but talking about diversifying your bets. Now, I will be doing a video on this later, so make sure you're going and reading this. That's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to give you the top bets for the today at this moment in time. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and hop over here to Daily Grind Fantasy to see what they are offering. Now, whenever you do come to Daily Grind Fantasy, it's one of the top positive EV betting tools, right? And you can see here that we are getting such great odds. And now when we're creating these 6-leg parlays, the number that we're really looking for is 53.8 or above. So although these are red, as long as we're throwing 6 of these together with an average of that 53.8, we are sitting very, very good. Now, I've already gone ahead and built out this slip for you. You can see here, this is the difference that Underdog Fantasy has been bringing to you. Now with 6-leg parlays, it's very similar to what PrizePicks is currently offering you. With all 6 correct, you'll get the 25x payout, whereas if you get 5 correct, it is now 2.6x payout, whereas PrizePicks only made it a 2x payout, right? And then the 4 correct is the 2.5x or 0.25x. Sorry about that. But let's look at the 6 picks that I have for you, and then I'll go into my reasoning as to why I picked those bets for you. Now, Mitch Keller going under 32.5 fantasy points, Scotty Scheffler higher than 69.5 strokes, this CS2 play Pua going lower than 25 kills, Fernando Tatis lower than 0.5 runs, Jack Suwinski going lower than 0.5 total bases, and then Daniel Lynch going higher than 1.5 walks allowed. Now, none of these picks are solely based off of historical data. So I know some people use props cash or outlier or any of those things, which I still use that from time to time. But in order to be the most profitable sports bettor, the way that you need to be doing it is using positive EV. So the reason that I went with this Mitch Keller play that you can see here going under 32.5 fantasy score is because it has a 56.85% odds to hit with an average juice of minus 131. We can see right now there are currently 3 books pulling data from all of their lines created. Obviously, these major sports books aren't offering fantasy lines, but what they are offering are their strikeouts, their innings pitched, and walks allowed. All of this stuff is on these sports books, which is how they're able to calculate this number. So we're roughly getting a 3.5 point edge from these books here alone, which is absolutely crazy. So because of that, Mitch Keller going under 32.5 points here makes sense, and that's why he is the first pick for us here, going under 32.5 fantasy score. Now, the next pick that I have is this Scotty Scheffler play going over 69.5 strokes. So if we go back over here to Daily Grind Fantasy, we do see that that is the very next play here. There are currently 4 other books offering that, and again, none of them except for parlay play as low as 69.5, but they're still favoring it at minus 129. But we do see FanDuel offering it 2 strokes higher at 71, and then 2 other books and better and PrizePicks offering this at 70.5. So 3 books are giving us essentially at least a 1-point edge, but we do see this major sportsbooks and FanDuel giving us a 2-point edge here. Now, that next play that I had for you was this Pua CS2 play. Now, by the time you're watching this video, this play may no longer be available. I do live in the central time zone, so this is about to drop off. And that's why it is important to continue checking this Daily Grind Fantasy, is because these lines are always updating almost every second, right? It's giving you the most up-to-date live betting. So this play may not be available, but the reason that I picked it, not only because it has such a high percentage odds to hit at that 54.76% odds to hit, but we're also getting an average juice of minus 163, but that's because 3 books are currently offering this with Hot Streak, Parlay Play, and PrizePicks, all offering it at least 1 point difference, right? PrizePicks is the nearest one at 24. That's a whole point difference, which means that Underdog is likely off on this line of 25, so we probably need to go ahead and hit the under. So that's why I am taking them. So again, we had the Scotty Scheffler play, then we had this Pua play here. Now the next one is this Fernando Tatis, and we will be dropping down a couple. The reason that I'm skipping over this CS2 play, they are on different teams, meaning that I could pick this play. Now the reason that I'm not picking it is because there's two books that are currently offering this line. The reason that this percentage is so high is because this hot streak play here is the reason, right? Right now, Parlay Play is offering this line at the exact same of 23.5. Hot streak is really the outlier, as I said here, at 26.5, and then they're heavily favoriting it. I'm choosing to stay away from that because it's basically he said, she said, right? But a smart play to do is if you were to take it, go ahead and middle this opportunity on hot streak if you are able to. Now, we aren't able to pair this in our Underdog slip since we already have the Scotty Scheffler strokes play. So I am going to jump down to this Fernando Tatis play here as well, going under 0.5. Runs scored. So again, we have that percentage odds to hit at a 53.85. That's still higher than what we need. We do have 5 books betting on this, with 2 books currently offering this at minus 140 or greater, meaning they are heavily favoriting it. Now, 3 other books are coming in at minus 135 and even minus 137, but they are still favoriting it there as well because we're getting average juice of minus 140. So that's pretty good for us as well. That's something that I definitely want to take away, add to this slip as well before we really start to get into some of these deep reds. Right? So if we go back to Underdog, just to show you again, we had that Fernando Tatis play. And then if we go to the next one, it's this Jack Suwinski play that I have for you. Now, that one isn't the next play that I have here. The reason that I skipped Marcus Semien is because I've already included this pick in a previous play as well, creating these slips. The reason that I don't want to do that is, again, the reason of that Twitter article, that X article that I had already mentioned to you earlier. So make sure you go checking that out. I don't want too many of the same plays in multiple slips just because if Marcus Semien does not hit this line, now not only is one of my slips kind of screwed, but now multiple of them are. So I will be skipping that one. This Jack Suwinski play I've not played in any plays before, but we're still getting pretty good odds. It's lower than that 53.8 that we're looking for, but only by 0.15, which this is able to make up the difference quite a bit for us. So meaning that our average is still pretty good, and we are still getting good positive EV on this as well. Multiple books are betting on this, and the lowest one that we're seeing is that minus 135, but it does go again as high as minus 150, giving us an average juice of minus 138. So really, for him to go to under 0.5 seems like a very good play. Now, the last pick that I have for you here is that Daniel Lynch play. It is the very next play here, coming in again at a 53.65, which means that we're still sitting pretty good here as well. Now, again, multiple books betting on this. This one we see as low as minus 131, but we do see at least 1, 2, 3, 4 books sitting at minus 140 or greater. That does round out those picks, guys. Again, these are my top 6 Underdog picks that I have for you. Multiple sports. It's as simple as that, though. You should be able to create these slips within seconds, right? But anyways, though, make sure you're subscribing to this channel, hitting that notification bell, and getting notified anytime these videos are dropping. I'd also appreciate the follow on X there as well. Anyways, though, let's have a great Friday heading into the weekend, and I will see y'all tomorrow.